Hey guys, how's it going? Go see Richard today, and today we're going to be working on the car. No, we're not. We're going to be working on a Golf R. Holy smokes, it's been a while since I've worked on a Volkswagen. The last one was the GTI that I had on the channel, and I did a bunch of work to. One of my friends here in the neighborhood has a Golf R, and he said he wanted to install a big brake kit. These are the rear. Some new braided brake lines for the front, and let's open up this racing line. Big brake kit so far. Pretty nice looking box. Oh, there's the rotor. Let's put that in here. Always trying to make sure we keep that foreign material. Heck, I might even put those on there and we'll see. Nice box, as I've said a couple times, ADHD. And let's see what's in here. Oh, another rotor. Perfect. Which means this must have our new calipers in it. Now, I don't know if anyone's ever had the pleasure of seeing what big brakes compared to OEM look like. We'll show you in a sec, because ADHD wants me to show you another. So, first things first. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Holy smokes, look at those dual piston calipers. We'll open that up after. Let's just see these guys, eh? As he drops it. Ooh, those are light. I don't know what I was expecting, but yeah. So dual piston each side, dual piston each side, so 4 piston. So again, I'm sure there's more options for more pistons for your bigger brake calipers. Oh, do you hear it? Maybe you don't. I hear the car possibly pulling up. Anyways, stuff is here. Beautiful. Oh yeah, it's definitely here. There it is. Perfect timing. As you can see, we got a beautiful Golf R. As you can see here, we've got this going on. Oh look, more beautiful brake lines, brake pads, so on and so forth, and one more caliper from what you don't need to really see. What does it look like though when you get some big brakes? Well, this particular Corvette that I have has the same brakes as I believe it's a 570 McLaren. As you can see, the caliper to brake rotor ratio is insane in the front and in the back. But with big brakes comes big responsibilities if you don't maintain your pads. So always maintain your pads, because the rotors are usually a heck of a lot more expensive than your pads. So this is going to be for the 2018 Golf R, but again, you should be able to convert it over for quite a few of the Golf Rs, just because of the fact that just looking at the front caliper, it reminds me just of my Mark 6 GTI. So we'll go ahead, we're gonna throw this thing up on the jack stands and let's go and wrench these things out. You can see here, just line this up just in front of the pinch weld. You can put it right here in this opening. Just do not hatch it on any of this plastic, otherwise you could break this. You don't want that. So I always lift by the pinch weld, but then when I come in here, it goes right in this trough, and then we'll slowly lower the monobody. Do the same in the rear. Just make sure you dodge that piece of plastic, because again, you don't want to break your side skirt. From here, we'll lower it and it will sit on both. As you can see, I have one piece of wood to stop any rolling from happening. You don't have to. It is an all-wheel drive, but I'll tell you what, it's a lot better to do it now. Also, make sure you disengage the parking brake. Make sure you crack all your lugs loose on the ground if you don't have an impact gun to do so, because the rim will try and turn. You can have a friend kind of hold the brake pedal and try and crack them loose while holding it. Just depends on how tight they are. The biggest goal is trying to get the car as close to the ground as you can with the tire being off. And the reason why is then you don't have to lift as high. All right, let's see if we can show you a little easier on this side. Go ahead, pop this clip right out like that, put it somewhere safe. And then this one, again, we just want to get in here, and always fun getting the back one. Oh, maybe. Let's see. There, got it off. From here, make sure this is nice and free, This one comes out from the bottom. Put a 17 here and put a, so 17 here and 11 here, loosen the brake line. Make sure you have a bucket to catch fluid. Once you've cracked it loose and you can undo it by hand, loosen these until you can do them by hand. Take out the bottom one. Have this so it's literally out. The caliper should be just sitting here. Put it in your box of spare parts. You will not be reusing it. From here, back your brake line off. It's gonna start oozing. That's fine. We're gonna have to do a full brake system bleed anyway. All right, now that that's fully out, pop this down. Go ahead, lift the caliper out. Might take a little bit of wiggle, and put it in the box. At angle, sink it in, wiggle the connector until it comes out. If there's dirt, it's always fun. We're gonna have to ground this, otherwise you're going to get a light inside the vehicle. All right, fun part. We get to cut and then plug this in. So, this is your old brake pad sensor. I think that's a cutter, is it? Yeah. Yeah, let's just do it right about here. Let's quickly show you how to make that brake pad delete. So, again, one of the brake pads has a sensor on the passenger side. Go ahead, cut the jacket. It slides right out after, so cut the jacket. Simply strip both wires, tie them together like so, solder them, or crimp, put a crimp on the end if you want. I'll leave it up to you. I solder, so I'm going to fire up the soldering iron. I'm going to quickly solder that, throw a piece of heat shrink on it, and then plug it back in, and that is all there is to it. After you're done, ignore this. This is just solder splatter because I rubbed my soldering iron against here to heat shrink it. Bend it over, and you can tuck the tip back into this rubber. Again, the tips are currently soldered together, and I'm just going to tuck it in, and ta-da! Brake pad sensor delete, finished. Go ahead and recap. What we did is we pulled that off with a 11 and a 17. After we pulled this off with a 11 and a 17 holding, we had our caliper here, which we had to hold the inside right here with a 17. It couldn't be the ratcheting one because the ratcheting one is too thick. I actually had to use one of my thinner box wrenches to hold it, and then we went ahead and removed the 13s on the other side, slipped it off. You could remove this all as one unit, but we don't want to do that because I like to have it in pieces for later, especially if you ever want to reinstall. Anyways, take a 21mm socket, throw it on the back. We're going to go ahead and throw a big long ratchet on here or breaker bar. We're going to break the high torque of these. If you have your rattle gun, you could use that, but in this case, we're just going to go ahead and do it like this. Loosening it without much effort. Anyways, keep doing that for loosening them if you want to do them in slow increments. I suggest a plastic hammer, not a metal one, so you don't mess up your ratchet, and small controlled strokes. Pull that out of the way, put your 2 bolts in there because I'm 99% sure we're going to actually reuse those ones. We're probably not going to reuse those caliper bolts right there. So what we'll do is from this point, before you start smacking this like crazy, there's a little Allen key or Torx in here. This one is a Torx. I'm gonna go grab that Torx. I'll tell you what size. We have to break this loose first. Now, if you wanna make your life a little easier, seriously, penetration fluid. Now, this is important. You're gonna feel how low torque spec this is. It's like inch pounds. You don't wanna put it in really tight. Why? Well, because then future you is gonna wanna break your legs. A T30, careful, it can be, like I said, seized a bit. Slowly. There. These screws are notorious for getting seized because the last guy didn't like you and put it in way too tight. Now that we got this out, the last thing we're gonna do, and again, I had this in here just in case so I could show you. These are great for putting your tires on and off. You should own one. If not, go buy one. And then you can hold this, or your friend can hold this while you try and undo the screw, or you can try to hold it and undo the screw, but it's going to be hard. Use a small ratchet then, or whatever you have to do. Now that we've got this out, we can undo this, and we can go ahead with that and slightly bash here. Now, if you hit the metal shield, remember to bend it back out. Otherwise, you will have a nice scraping noise as you drive for the first time and you'll wonder why. So let's just tap, spin, tap, spin, spin, tap, and do it evenly so it doesn't get hooked up. Two things: safety glasses, because if you don't have safety glasses on, you're gonna get hurt. And then, or you'll get debris in your eye, law of attraction. Next thing is, if you want to, you can do this with the fronts, you won't be able to do it with the backs. You can take your key and put it into the ACC and move your steering wheel over so that way you can get a better hit on it so you have more room. You can move this for the front. For the rear, not so lucky. So something to keep in mind. Last cheat code. Hit it both ways. So, high chance and probability, never sees was never used in here. When it let go, it flew. It didn't just like slowly move, it went bang and popped off. So I ended up using the metal one. Whatever, do whatever you want. Remember, if you bonk the shield, make sure you, this is the easiest time to do it. Just give it a flex back. I always will with the corners, just to make sure. And then when we spin it later, we'll just make sure and spin it before the caliper's on. Your pads might touch a little bit, so you'll hear a little bit of a noise until they bed. Anyways, from here, we can go ahead and get our new rotor ready. And guess what we're gonna do first? Go get our anti-seize. Two ways to do this. You can put the anti-seize on the rotor side or just put it on here. I find it easier to just put it on here because then you're not gonna put it anywhere on the rotor. You shouldn't have it. This is all you're doing. Just paint it. Never used anti-seize before? Don't get it on your clothes. You get it on your clothes, throw your clothes out. Don't put them in the wash. Why? You'll turn your entire laundry set into a Tin Man, as we call it. And unless you want to Tin Man yourself, well, then don't do it. And then there we go. Ta-da. Painting and painting. Again, you might say it's excessive. I say future me won't think so at all. Not that I'm hoping to get back in here anytime soon, but if I do, I will thank myself. By the way, notice how I put that on the ground? That's because if you put that there and then you kneel on it later, guess what? It's on your clothes, you don't catch it, you turn your girlfriend's dress silver, and then you became one of those Law and Order episodes. So there you go. Once you've made sure you have no lubricants on your fingers, go ahead and touch your rotor. You can see the little screw in point. We need to line that up with that. This one's the one I'll probably go with. You'll see it says LH, left-hand drive. How do you know, or left-hand side, as I should say. If you go like this with your hand and you pretend you're sitting in the driver's seat, that is your left side. So LH, this is driver's side. RH would be passenger side. Well, this is something I've never seen before. They didn't actually include a new screw. Almost every one of these that I've ever played around with has come with a new screw because, well, you don't want to use this one again just in case it breaks. Well, I guess they say to themselves, well, it's such low foot-pounds and inch-pounds that yeah, let's not. So I'll give you the inch pounds in a sec. I'll leave it up to you. You could order new screws, I'm sure, online. I would normally replace them. I just don't have them here today, and they won't probably carry them at the local dealer. So, all right. So for this little guy, I like to put them at 70 inch-pounds. If you want what most people do, 4 to 8 foot-pounds. Again, 4 to 8, not 48. And then, yeah, like I said, 60, 70 inch-pounds. It's only holding this to the hub, the rotor to the hub. It is not the final product. When you tie your lugs in, that's the final product. This just makes sure it doesn't come off when you pull your tire off or your rim or wheel, whatever you want to say. All right, now that we've gone ahead and done that, this is seated, let's go ahead and put our new caliper bracket on. Blue Loctite, just do a nice little stripe just like that with them. You don't have to completely soak the bolt. It goes like this. See how it's kind of veered away? You want that towards the back, the veer. If you try the other way, well, it won't fit with the rotor anyway. So go ahead and just get this lined up, hand thread both screws in and sink them down. I'll give you a final torque spec in a sec. Well, I went to use the snap-on. I won't be able to because this thing is only up to 100 foot-pounds. This thing is requiring a 147. So I'm gonna go grab my big boy and yeah, get those two mounting bolts to 147 foot-pounds. All right, take those little sleeves, slide them on the back. They come in the separate pack. Make sure you slide the sleeve on the back of the pad. From here, you'll see that I've put some brake lubricant on the back of that sleeve, as well as our sliders. Make sure they're very well lubricated. Don't lubricate the threads, just lubricate the sliders. If you want, put a tiniest dash of Loctite, but to tell you the truth, this is one of those catch-22s. You don't want it to seize. This is aluminum. So I would usually put just a hint of Loctite on it. And again, nothing above blue. If you do, then you're just asking for yourself to, yeah. Anyways, all you do is you slide it in, pad of course facing the rotor. Slide it in, it will press up on this metal piece just like so. As you're applying pressure with your thumb, we slide the pins in and screw them in. Do not, whatever you do, have pressure on those pins when you're tying them in. I usually will have it lined up like this. It will gracefully go in and I will gracefully start to hand thread it in. Do not have pressure on them until those are completely seated in. The reason why is if you start trying and it's cockeyed like this, you're going to strip out all of this aluminum threads and then you get to cry and beg our line for a new caliper. So those bolts, once we've got the Loctite on them, I've already got Loctite, it's just they're face down right now. Go ahead, brush on some lubricant onto the edge of these bolts. If you want, if you so wish, you can throw a tiny bit of blue Loctite on here. I kind of don't suggest it. There's such a low torque spec that the last thing I want you to do is to have it like super stick and then it not come out. I'll probably throw a tiny bit of blue Loctite. Just make sure you don't put the Loctite on the brake lubricant. So throw just a tiny bit there and there and there and there. And then after you've done that, the back sleeves, slide them on the pads. They slide on like so. Then you can do what I did, unless it's too Frankenstein for you. Whatever you do, don't get the lubricant on the front surface of the pad. Because if you put it on the front surface, well, you're not going to stop because it's going to lubricate your brakes. So once we've gone ahead, we've got these ready to go. We've pulled those pins out. And again, those are a T40 Torx. We're going to slide those bad boys in. They slide in their little homes right here. And make sure that the pad obviously is facing inward. Do one side at a time. For example, it will go like this. Now that we've got that, we have to put pressure. As we put pressure, the two little bunny ears will come up and you'll screw them in. Do not, whatever you do, have pressure on those pins when you screw them in. If you have pressure when you're putting those pins in and they're sliding through the bunny ears, you could strip those and then these are going back to our line and they probably won't be happy with you and who knows what they'll do for you. So again, well, it's lined up like so. Squeeze it with your hand and then screw in said pin and said pin once lubricated. Again, it's not that hard. I'm actually holding it right now just to show you. I can see a clear path, just hand thread those in. We'll torque them to spec, actually when we're putting everything back, but if you at least get these to kiss the surface, you'll be fine. You're not gonna strip them. I'm gonna try and show this on camera. It should be buttery smooth. Like I said, kiss the surfaces together. Squeeze it with your thighs. Go ahead and tighten those bolts all the way up to about 15 to 18 foot-pounds, something like that. Do that to both sides, get them ready. And then how you know which brake caliper is going which side. Driver's side, once again, if you flip it over, there it is. See how it says L0122F? The L stands for left-hand side. If you look at the other one, it'll say R0122F. Go figure, that's your passenger side for the R. Let's go ahead, slide this in. Make sure you have some Loctite on those two bolts. I'll probably throw a little bit more on there. But again, just a small little strip. We're gonna torque those guys down to about 90 Newton meters. work that out into your foot-pounds. Anyways, we'll slide that on. I'm gonna do the banjo bolt after, so that way I can aim the line perfectly. That's why you haven't seen me do it yet. I also didn't want any accidental pressing of brake and then the pistons moving. These, when you're retracting them, will be fun later on. But again, you can use different apparatuses to create space to push them back. Usually I'll put both pads there and then I will press them back. But as you can feel, those pins, when you have a brake line attached to them, you're probably going to want to be able to pop those clips, because it's fun to get that retainer that's pressing on the pads. It'll be fighting you the whole way, and you do not want to strip those out. So just keep that in mind when you're redoing these, probably after a track day or whatever you're doing. So let's go ahead and thread these other bolts in. Again, buttery smooth. You should be able to almost seat these things, or you should be able to seat them with your hand. If you can't, and it's not that buttery smooth, and you go drilling that in with an impact or your ratchet, well, guess what? It's going to be shiny and fresh, because you're going to need a replacement. So don't, whatever you do, especially during brake changes, go and just start pounding these things in with an impact. Once you go ahead, also, here's another reason why I use Loctite. Lubrication. It lubricates the threads for when it goes in. In some apparatuses or situations, it's going to tell you to go in dry because it doesn't want that extra lubrication. But lubrication, in this case, will cause heat to go down, if that makes sense. If you start screwing it in super quick with an impact, you have high heat, you have high stripping chances, especially with aluminum. All right. Now that we've gone ahead and done that, let's go ahead and start torquing these bad boys down to 90 Newton meters. Richard, not all of us know what 90 Newton meters is. Let's see what that is for you. 66 foot-pounds, 66.4. So I'm gonna go to Newton meters. Doesn't really matter, I just wanted to show you, so yeah, know for your foot-pounds. Take a second and admire that. Let's go to the other side and just show you before we even do the, because I haven't done the other side yet. Well, it's still hidden, but yeah, a little different. Let's go ahead and let's do the brake line. See that beauty right there? We're gonna bring it in. It goes down. See how there's that little slit, or how it's not circular? There's a little bit of a carve out on it. Perfect. You'll notice there's a bit of a carve out right there. This slips in here. Before you do that one, I highly suggest you do this one. Slide the little clip that we had out. You're probably gonna have to press on it. You can use a rubber mallet, again, rubber mallet, not metal mallet, and just slowly tap it in, and it will put pressure on that spring clip. Again, just line up the feet like so, and just like that. That's how she locks in. Now we know how the banjo bolt's gonna go, which is like that. This is, and this will spin in here, by the way. There, you want it flat. I always like to hold it though, so that way, well, we have the holding. Now, we feed this up and through here again, line it up, because you have that centering area again. We'll hold this and we'll tighten this. Just tighten your brake lines down. I don't really have a torque spec, because unless you're using crow's foot, you're not gonna really have any way of doing it, and 90% of people watching this video probably don't have crow's foot adapters, so they can go like this, put it on, and then put a torque wrench on it. Line it up, make sure it lines up. Remember, this does slide, so you don't want this all twisty. You can twist it like so, and so on and so forth, so we can make it look pretty in the end. From here, get this lined up. You don't want it going in cockeyed. See, nice and straight, just like that. Go ahead and hand thread it in. She should slide in real nice, especially since she's lubricated with brake fluid. Again, I don't know who needs to hear this, but do not just get 3 to 4 threads in and think, oh wow, it's bound up now. Now I can start to ratchet. No, no, no. You should make sure that you can thread that thing almost all the way down. You won't get it all the way, but almost all the way. You should get like, it should feel like you're going on forever. As long as you get it that far, then you're good. 3 to 4 threads, you're gonna strip it in, and guess what? New brake lines are in your near future. So go ahead and grab the 17 mil again, and then tighten that 11 mil. All right, so as you can see, I'm actually gonna show you 11 foot-pounds. Slide it on, and then you line it up. No, I cannot show you when I have my hand in the way. So just like that, hold it with a 17, get that inverted flare to 11 foot-pounds. 99% of you are not going to have those probably. So again, get it 11 foot-pounds worth. Next, love tap this one just like that so it stays up. Again, go up on this angle, don't go in from this angle because of this guide right here. Kind of guides this in, so you want to love tap it from this. Do yourself a favor and put it like, make sure that it's going to sit flat now. And how you do that is just from this angle, then you can twist it and so on and so forth. Once you have your banjo bolt, this is how it goes. It goes one brass. Then you put it through the fitting like so. Put on your next brass. You need a brass there and a brass there. Always use brand new when removing a banjo bolt fitting, otherwise it will leak. After you get both brass fittings, throw a tiny bit of blue Loctite on here. Again, notice the brasses. Brass, screw, brass, fitting, brass. Now we can put it in. Make sure that you pop out. I mean, there's no way you can't, just don't pop it inside. Grab the rubber plug, take it out. And again, buttery smooth or you're gonna cry. If I were you, kind of hold it in line with the caliper like so. You'll see it makes that nice, beautiful bend. And look at it, R line. So that way it slips up and down and you can mysteriously see it one day. I don't think you need to put this on there. I mean, it's cute, but what else? Anyways, 26 foot-pounds. Hold with one hand, torque with the other. You're all good. Look at how beautiful it is. Take your photos now. She's gonna be dirty. Go to the other side, rinse and repeat. Lastly, if you haven't when ordering these, it's very important. If you get their spacers, because you might need some spacers, they actually line up perfectly in here. I'm going to recommend them because of the fact that if you haven't tried your rims yet and you don't know if they're going to fit, and they don't at the time of, it's better to have those spacers and then be able to return them than to not have them and need them. A lot of people do end up needing them, so I would highly suggest ordering some in. So if you have OBD11, go ahead and plug it in. We'll see if I can get it first go. If not, it's Rotato. Yeah, it's Rotato. There you go. Okay, we've plugged it in. The next thing we probably got to do is put the ignition on so it can read it. Make sure you have your keys.
Yeah, I put them right beside you.
Perfect. Now, yes, we know the brake fluid level is dangerously low. From here, you'll hit connect. It'll say connecting after you hit connect. There we go, found your battery. As you can see, I have 10 credits available, apps. You then have to go search. You then have to go onto here and type in brake. You can type in parking brake, but it probably would take you longer than anything. All right. So, brake pad replacement. As you can see, you're going to turn on the ignition. You want to cycle the parking brake off, then cycle the parking brake on. You are going to have to press the brake when you try to disengage it. You heard it engage. Now we put our foot on the brake. Disengaged. Now we come over here. Press select option. We're going to press activate.
That's where try pressing another one and then go back.
Oh, there we go. Activate. And there we go. As you can see, it has now packed them out, which is good. Now that we've done so, let's go and service them. The thing is, popping off these little caps in the back, and as you can see, the other one is right here. Put them off to the side. Make sure we bring a box back over here because with a cloth in it, because we're going to pull out these 7 mil. I believe that's what it is from my GTI days. Take out the two 7 mils right here and that way we can replace the pads. The other thing you can do, if I can do it with my fingers right now, is you could pop off the retainer. I might need my flat blade. Take a flat blade, you can pop off the retainer as well. You'll need a small ratchet with small Allen up here. Mind you, we are taking this brake off, so if you're in a pinch, you could disconnect it now. Anyways, loosen, take out the two bolts, and then we'll move this off to the side. Make sure you kind of wiggle, free the parking brake, and so on and so forth. Once you've done that, you can slowly slide this pin. You can even take a small flat blade, slide it in there, and just push the pin just so it comes out this way. You can leave this loose, and the reason why, we need to grease that. That definitely needs grease. You can do the same with the bottom one. Just push it out like so. And then once you've got your fingers on it, wiggle and drop out. They are the same pin. Okay, from here, let's wiggle and remove. Oh, actually, before we do that, this is gonna hold it. Let's go ahead, take our flat blade, just like that. Do the same with the bottom. There, retainer clip off. Once you do that, now we can wiggle. They're gonna be probably a little tight on there, but we'll get them. I don't want to do it with a camera in my hand. Put the old brake pad on there, put in a piston retract tool, just like this. And the thing is when you do that, just make sure it doesn't fall. You don't want it to break the sensor, you don't want it to break that, you don't want it to break anything. And it should go in this buttery smooth anymore, and you're probably pushing back on the motor, and that's not good. Means yours did not retract. All right, I can feel that that is fully retracted now. Remember how we disconnected that brake pad sensor? You're gonna do the same right here. We're gonna disconnect the motor, only because we're gonna have to smack in here with a hammer, and we're gonna have to motivate this to move out of the way. So to do all that, it's safer to make sure this wire does not break, as that would be the most expensive. If the brake line, well, snap this part of it, whatever, we have a new one. But this, we don't have a new one of. Rubber mallet trick, go in from the back side, holding on to the ratchet, and go ahead and give her a couple swings. By a couple, I mean just do lots of microdosing. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see my two fingers. I can't see on the camera. One here and one right here. Take out those two. Take out bottom bolt first if you want. Bottom bolt's the easiest. Then top bolt, and then we'll get this out of the way. Then we'll get that annoying screw out, just like we did the fronts. And then give it the love. All right, screws out. Disc is ready. Take your metal hammer, give it a couple smacks here. Just some smeacks. Tidman. Put your screw in, you already know, 60 to 70 inch-pounds. Let's slide that bracket on, put some blue Loctite on these two, and then we'll thread them all the way in. I'll give you torque spec after. So for this guy, you're gonna do 90 foot-pounds on both bolts, and then you need to do 2 angled torque meters of 90. It's easy with this because I can actually hit this, and then I can go down and then up to get that 90, but to get a 90 in this little bay, I don't know how the heck you're gonna do that. So that's kind of messy on VW's part. Just give us a torque spec like the front. The front's 147. Why not just say 147 for the rear? Cut the 90 out of it. If you can't get an angled torque, don't worry about it. Do it to like 100 to 120, call it a day. We're gonna go ahead, lubricate those slider pins, and we're gonna put those back in. This one goes to the back, just slide it in. You can tell because it's got the curly Q. Don't forget to put your shims on the back and then put those pads on. After you slide it on, go ahead and thread in. After lubricating those pins, you can throw a tiny bit of Loctite on those threads if you so wish. For the two rears, just go ahead and put those at 22 foot-pounds. From there, go ahead, pop some caps in there so no no dirt is gonna go into there. And from there, let's go ahead and put that last retaining bolt in. And then this we'll just put back on, holding the pads. Oops, it goes like that, sorry. So just put it back on just like so. You might have to use your flat blade again just to kind of bend it into the hole. Just like the other side, pop out that clip with your flat blade. Loosen it once again, an 11, 17 on top. This should wiggle right out again. Put this off to the side. Go ahead, loosen our 13 mil banjo bolt and take this right out of the way. Now that we got that 11 and 17, in the rear where it's different is we have a 11 on the banjo to remove. Actually, it could have been the same with the front. It's just we never touched that banjo because there. And now we release the liquid from the caliper. Let's go ahead. Anyways, we'll remove that. Let's get the next line, the new line, and the new banjo with the 2 brass washers ready to go. All right, once you get that new line tied in, just like we had, 17 on top, 11. Again, same way we torqued the front. Now you need to use this exact banjo from the old line. It can be a little fun to remove that retaining washer. Once you do so, make sure you don't score up the threads, make sure it's clean, throw 1 brass on, put it back through the fitting like we did the front, put the next brass on, and then we're gonna tie it into the brake caliper. You see, I'm gonna zoom it in. Make sure when you put that fitting in, it fits in that crevice when you're tightening it. Just like that, put it to 15 foot-pounds. So this part of the video you might want to watch from somewhere else just because it is dark. I'm going to try and light it up the best I can. But again, brake fluid reservoir. Go ahead, throw fluid inside the brake fluid reservoir. It's all right if it's not overflowing, if it's past max for right now. The reason why is the max is going to come down as we bleed, and we have to bleed all 4 of them. So go ahead, throw some fluid in, just make sure it doesn't pour out the top. On the caliper, we're going to start with the driver's side. The driver's side is the shortest run, so it goes driver's front, then passenger's front, then driver's rear, then passenger's rear. For these big brake calipers, you have to do the outside first, and then you do the inside bleeder. So how this is going to work is you pre-fill our bleeder bottle, which I'll show you in 1 sec, and with a little bit of fluid, not full, just the top bottom, because we want air to go out, and if it's going to pull fluid in, it's going to pull in fresh fluid, and we're only going to be having air cycle back into the, cycle out of the system, and then fluid will get pulled back in, but it's also going to pull fluid from the back end. So you have to make sure every 4 or 5 pumps you go and make sure that reservoir stays full. So make sure it stays full. Otherwise, if that reservoir runs empty, you're going to redo the whole process again because you'll introduce air bubbles into the system. So let's explain. There's our brake fluid bottle. You'll see in the bottom there, see, I have just enough fluid to cover the little hose that's on the inside. That's because we don't want to introduce new air into the system. So that is countersunk in the fluid. It just needs to be in the fluid. From there, keep it higher than the brake caliper. That's why it's like this. And then we're going to crack that loose, pump the brakes. Make sure that that stays sealed and that hose stays sealed. As you pump the brakes, that will slowly fill with fluid. As it does, or it'll slowly fill with air at first, and then it'll fill with fluid. Just keep in mind, don't go by that for when you should refill your brake res at the very beginning, because if you do, and there's a lot of air in this system, all you're going to end up doing is keep pumping until the master cylinder is dry, and then you're going to not see fluid even in there yet, if you get my drift. So what I'm saying is, every 6 or 7 pumps, check your master cylinder. See, it's going to be impossible for me to show you this. It should be that clear. There should be no air bubbles. You start from this end, keep going until you'll see bubbles, 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 and then all of a sudden there will be no bubbles. And then go 3 pumps past then, and yeah, if you want to, unless you're doing a full fluid change, which you can do, you will start pumping out the same clear fluid at some point. And if you're going overzealous just to make sure no air bubbles, you can technically save the fluid. I'll leave it up to you, because otherwise it gets expensive quick if you're just cycling the fluid. Continue to the passenger side, and then the rears are stupid easy because there's only 1 nipple on those ones. So go ahead, like I said, drivers, passengers. Rear is drivers, then passengers. Go through that. then you can even cycle your ABS module if you want. But for us, we'll check our braking, see how it is, see how our sensors are. And then from there, take it for a nice daily cruise and make sure that your brakes feel good. After you've gone and taken it for a little bit of a cruise, it's time to bed these pads. To do that, you have to go to 100 kilometers or 100 miles per hour, whatever you want to do, and then slam the brakes. And you're going to do that a couple times. And anything weird, stop and double check. This is your safety. This is why we mess around so much. Again, I know the brake bleeding portion is not the best tutorial I've ever done, so I would highly suggest you can look at my other brake bleeding videos, because it's pretty much the same except for the fact that these double-sided calipers do need to be bled on the both sides. You start again from the outside and work your way to the inside bleeder. Again, did the rears. You just crack it loose. I found it easier to crack them because the rears obviously we didn't replace, so they're old. Crack them loose with a socket first, because you don't want to null them out with a wrench. After that, though, you can tighten the bleeder with the box wrench, because you don't want to put any sort of real insane torque spec on those. Last but not least, make sure you put your car back into ACC. It'll give you the electronic parking brake light. And then we'll just go and go back into the apps, is what it was under. Apps. And then just press or type in even, yeah.
I was on the brake, but it didn't, hasn't connected.
Oh, perfect. Oh, that's brake bleeding. We don't need that one. Oh. We can just do, the one that you want is parking brake.
Parking brake, right.
Brake pad replacement. Up right there. Used, view options. And then we need to close them. And look at that. I think it's going to want 0 credits again. Or it wants 10 credits. Again, buying a scan tool will pay itself off. We are currently in the app again, and they charged us 10 credits, which was basically $5 to open the calipers, and now to close them is another 10. So make sure you're all done, because if you don't and you close them, you have to pay $5 to open them again. So it'd be a $5 mistake. Pretty nutty. Let's go ahead and see if it'll let us close them now. What would you rate it? 1? Yes.
I don't even want, because then it'll be like, can you answer a few questions?
Oh yeah. So let's press to close. And there they are. I can't believe that they charged us $10 to close them. All right, and a bunch of warnings just went out on the dash. Yay. Make sure when test fitting your rims, you go slowly and look, otherwise you're going to scuff the heck out, and then you're going to rotate ever so slowly. One thing you could do is put a piece of painter's tape over the top of it. Otherwise, if your rims sit too close, you could scuff the front of your brand new brake calipers. Just a warning. We're going to check ours, and if they don't work, then we're going to put the spacer on. Again, sit them flush, take a look. These rims work perfect. The whole circumference, everything works. If you're using OEM rims, I've heard that they do touch. If they do, you need spacers. So make sure you get those from Raceline, so that way they sit nicely. Let's go ahead. We'll thread all these guys in. And then if you want, if you have a rattle can, go ahead and put them in a star pattern and torque them to spec once they're on the ground. Well guys, that was a project well done. Again, we went and took it for a couple rips. We got it from 100, slammed the brakes, stops nice and quick. Way better than before, and the brakes were already more than adequate. We just wanted something for when he's doing his minor track use. He is going to be on the track testing out a few things, and so it made sense. Again, if you're just a street guy, those regular brakes that are already on there are probably more than adequate for your average person who's going to be ripping around. But for those people that are going to go do some track days, they might want a little bit bigger caliper, and they might want it so that way they can do some hot swaps on their brake pads afterwards, because let's face it, you're going to wear through them pretty well on the track. And that's the thing when it comes to upgrading brakes. It's definitely a necessity when you start adding horsepower, but it's also for your application. Anyways, I hope this video was enjoyable for you guys. Also, the last final thing, those lug nuts were 90 foot-pounds. I think I said 100 in the last clip. Anyways, pick your poison. I just don't want the next VW guy to jump in there. Anyways, thanks again for watching. Press like if the video helped you out. Subscribe for more. Who knows what we can get done on that car next.